Well, we got a new Scream movie out in theaters. And this time, Neve Campbell and the franchise creator, Kevin Williamson, are back. Let's talk about it. Scream 7 is now playing in theaters from Paramount Pictures. It's directed by Kevin Williamson and written by Kevin Williamson, Guy Busick, and James Vanderbilt. Sidney Prescott, now Sydney Evans, played by Neve Campbell, has tried to distance herself from the Woodsboro murders that have plagued her since she was a teenager. Now she's a happy wife to her police chief husband Mark, played by Joel McHale, and acts as overprotective mother to their daughter Tatum, played by Isabel May. But after the Mocker house is burned down, the very site where the finale of the original Scream played out, Sidney receives a new phone call from Ghostface, voiced once again by Roger Jackson, who is now targeting her daughter and her friends. This causes Gale Weathers, played by Courtney Cox, to burst onto the scene with her new apprentices, Mindy, played by Jason Savoy Brown, and Chad, played by Mason Gooding, both stars of the last two Scream movies, all dead set on solving who is behind this new murder spree. This time, though, the murderer has revealed himself already as Stu Macher, played by Matthew Lillard. But is Stu really back from the dead, or is something more devious going on? I guess I've been living under a rock, but I'm surprised when I saw that Kevin Williamson was returning to direct this installment. Apparently, after the film series became the target for outspoken nutballs spouting online idiocy when Melissa Barrera was fired after she herself chose to enlighten us all with her political opinions, no one wanted to get near this sequel. So Kevin Williamson put on his big boy pants and decided to take the plunge into the director's chair. That's the most interesting aspect of Scream 7 to me, as Williamson has always played the role of writer and producer aside from the time he directed the tepid Teaching Mrs. Tingle. While I miss the elaborate and fast-paced mania delivered by the Radio Silence guys, Williamson does a decent job of keeping things moving fast and violent. Williamson offers up a bit of soap operatics with the mother-daughter drama, which we've seen played out in the most recent Halloween reboots, but never goes so far as to make Campbell into a neurotic, reclusive mess. For that, I was thankful, as the role has been played out over pretty much every legacy reboot we've seen over the last few years. The story opens up with a solid first kill. By this time, we know the loving couple who show up before the credits are going to get cacked, but Jimmy Tatro and Michelle Randolph make it interesting as they explore the Mocker home, which has been turned into a murder house Airbnb. This opening sequence moves quick, touches upon the fandom of How the Stab series, as well as the Woodsboro murders are still very much a part of popular culture in the world of the film. Thankfully, that pretty much is the extent of the meta-commentary, though Sidney's infamy is something that seems to still haunt her to this day. There's a nice way this film climaxes in the second act, which shakes the narrative up a bit. I don't want to reveal too much, but I did like the way the first half of the film plays out. There are some fun nods to the original Scream, as well as Halloween, with a trio of girls walking down the road to school, as well as a few scenes where the Ghostface mask emerges from the darkness like Michael Myers that make for some effectively creepy moments. There's even an inspired kill that is best left unspoiled, but it's definitely the most elaborate and effective kill sequence of the film. So halfway through, I was thinking this new Williamson-led Scream was going to do something new and interesting. Unfortunately, the film comes to a skidding halt when the living skeleton that is Courtney Cox and the plot armor twins, played by Jason Savoy Brown and Mason Gooding, enter the picture. I don't want to be mean, but I guess I have to be in order to be really honest about how I feel about this film. Gale Weathers needs to die. I'm sorry, but Cox is 93% plastic these days, and the other 7% is skin and bones. It's painful seeing what the once gorgeous actress has done to herself in order to keep up with Hollywood's obsession with youth and beauty. She resembles late-in-the-game Margot Kidder in Scream 7, and apart from showing up for nostalgia's sake, she really has nothing to do in the movie. Yes, it's fun seeing the love-hate relationship play out once again between the solitude-seeking Sidney and the exploitative Gale, but finding something for Gale to do in the story seems to be an afterthought to the writers of these things, and I think it's time for Ghostface to ghost her. This human coat rack is all but absent through the climax, proving that she easily could have been left out of the entire film. Sorry, but Gail has become a useless character, and it hurts me to look at her these days. Sorry, not sorry, but it's true, and you know it. And again with the sorry not sorries, Jason Savoy Brown and Mason Gooding are the absolute worst things about Scream 7. Every line that farts from their asshole faces is covered in smugness. These two are written as if they think they are smarter and better than everyone around them at all times. And no matter the scene, whether it's comical or serious, they have to have a snarky comeback. I know this is supposed to be a horror comedy, but the way their characters are handled makes them insufferable. Also, how many times do these two have to get slashed and stabbed by Ghostface for them to kick the bucket? As I said in my review of the last film, which had every character suffer a devastating stomach wound, they all should have been shitting in a bag for the rest of their lives due to their injuries. Tarantino damaged Hollywood films for good when he said a stomach wound takes a long time to die. Sometimes, no. Sometimes a stomach wound kills you, and sorry not sorry, that's the fate I wish upon these two plot armor twins. Like Gail, they added absolutely nothing, zero, zilch, nada to this story. It all would have been the exact same movie without them, so cut the wheat from the chaff and ditch these two jerks. And while I'm being mean with the sorry not sorries, we have this girl. I don't want to rip on a young up-and-coming actress, but can I possibly not see McKenna Grace in every big-budget horror movie released? In just the last decade, she's been in the Independence Day sequel, the Bad Seed remake, and its sequel, Annabelle Comes Home, Malignant, The Haunting of Hill House, the last two Ghostbusters, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, that Regretting You chick flick that told the entire story in the trailer, and is set to star in the upcoming Grafted ripoff Slanted, as well as the next Hunger Games. I'm kind of just sick of seeing this little gal's face. Thankfully, her part is small in this one. Grumpy old man griping aside, this wasn't a terrible entry into the Scream franchise. There are some great moments, such as when Ghostface chases Sidney and Tatum through their house, which has been rigged with escape passages and safe rooms. I also liked how the film incorporates the cell phone into the narrative, when usually in horror films, the phone is the first thing to go. Now the mystery is pretty weak in Scream 7. As soon as one actor shows up, I pretty much knew that person was going to be one of the killers. The killer/killer's identity/identities in numerous instances is/are completely obvious. I mean, when you see a recognizable actor in a small role, it's pretty much guaranteed that they will be pegged as the killer in the finale. There were a few red herrings tossed in for good measure, and with the Scream series, there's always a chance for more than one killer. Williams tries to keep you guessing the whole time, but anyone who's been watching movies for more than a decade is going to be able to point out the ghost face or ghost faces in this movie. The best parts of the movie, though, were between Sidney and Tatum. When they're on screen, the film works. The pace is fast, and there are some memorable sequences. Still, what is holding this series back is the fact that it is afraid to kill key characters off. Since Scream 7 has crossed the $1 billion mark, it's a no-brainer that there will be another installment, most likely next year. Williamson did a decent job with Scream 7. I'd like to see him come back for an 8th, as he seems to really get the core of the series. Here's hoping the mystery is deepened and not so obvious next time. I just hope they grow enough balls to knock off some of the key characters like Gail and the plot armor twins. That is the baggage that is weighing this franchise down. As they say in the film, it's always been about Sidney. This installment failed in making anything else worth keeping for the next installment. So what about you guys? Were you part of the group who added to the $1 billion this movie made? Or did you sit out this one? And what do you think are the most crucial and most useless parts of the Scream franchise? Let me know down in the comments. Please do me a favor and punch that like button down below. Share this video with all of your social media addicted pals. Click subscribe to this channel and ring that bell for notifications. You're doomed to live the life you're meant to be, stuck inside your reality. You're